These kinds of channel you have to watch. I am not promoting my channel here. I am just telling you to watch simple basic English content available on YouTube, because in each video, so you will learn different vocabulary as well as your listening practice done at the same time. Generally, when we read something, when we write something, draft something, we used heavy words or difficult words which are not really easy to understand. But when we are communicating, when we are talking to somebody, we generally use the very basic things which we can understand, right? So if you will do all those 5 steps, I'm promising you that you can learn this language very soon. But you have to be a little dedicated, little passionate about this. If you are taking it casually that you have to learn it, you have to do something, but you're not actually putting any extra effort for that, you won't be able to learn this language. If you are learning this language, you should not focus on your fluency, you should focus on your speaking. Try to be correct on that part, right? Fluency will be there once you will be confident on that particular thing. Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Karishma, and in today's video I am going to talk about how you can improve the level of your English. If you are on the basic level, how you can reach intermediate level. Before starting a video, I would like to introduce myself for the new viewers. My name is Karishma. I post content related to English. If I talk about myself, I am from Hindi medium school. Before a year, I could not speak this language like I'm speaking right now. So what are the things which I did to improve my level? Because earlier I was also on basic level when I've started learning this language, and how I have reached on intermediate level. Yeah, intermediate, because I'm still not on advanced level, because I still make mistakes, and don't afraid of making mistakes. These are the part of our English journey, so we must have to do that. Okay, so yeah, without getting any further ado, let's get into the video. So the very first thing, if you are on the basic level, you should know a little bit grammar, at least tenses. You should know how you can frame a sentence. See, if you are in an English environment, if you have an English environment at your house, or then there is no need of learning any grammar. You will understand the language just by speaking or listening. If you do not have any English environment, in that case it is compulsory to know a little bit of grammar so that you can frame sentences, right? I know many people says the same thing, that grammar is not really important for learning language, but only when you have that environment. Similarly, like kids learn Hindi language just because of the environment. Similarly, a person can also learn English with an environment. But we are the Indians, we have the same common issue actually, that we do not have this kind of environment. In that case, the grammar plays an important role, and you should know a little bit grammar before starting your English learning journey. How you can do that, I'm gonna tell you the step-by-step procedure. So the first step is, and directly you don't need to go to grammar. You need to start with a little bit of introduction. Like a person should know the basic introduction. If somebody is asked you, tell me something about yourself, you should at least be able to answer that question. You don't need to learn that properly, but you need to understand that what kind of sentences you are using or framing while you are describing yourself. For example, using simple greeting and introductions like hello, how are you, what are you doing, where are you from. These kinds of small sentences you should know before starting your journey. And how you can do that? You can simply you can open the YouTube or Google, and you can just read or listen any self-introduction video. You will be able to frame your own sentences. If somebody is telling you their self-introduction, you can replace that to yours. You can put additional words, additional sentences, like you are from this place. You can also add a little bit extra points, which I'm going to tell you. You can include in your introduction the basic personal information. Basic personal information is like your height, your hair color, your complexion, and the basic things which you want to explain, right? Third thing you can include in your introduction is you can talk about your family details, that how many members in your family, how many siblings you have, and are you living in a joint family or in a nuclear family. This is kind of introduction. You should prepare your own. You can watch others intro, and by watching that you can create your own introduction. You should write your own lines, and you should able to speak. You should try to speak that introduction, because it's the very first and important part for any language. You should be capable of giving your introduction. I'm gonna tell you a very practical example which happened only yesterday with me. The thing is that yesterday I've received a resume for telecalling. Actually, I have my own law firm, and I have few employees working with me. So I've received a resume for a girl, and she was around like 22 years old, and she was graduated from DU. She was graduated from DU. When I asked her to introduce herself, she was not able to speak even a single line. She was not even able to explain about her name. So if you are on the basic level, even though it is important at least to frame few sentences on yourself, and you have to know about yourself in English. This is the first step. Let's move on to the second point. Second point is that once you will be able to explain about yourself, tell about yourself, you should always, start reading. Now, reading does not mean you start taking a novel and start reading it. No. If you are on basic level, let me tell you practical example again. When I was on basic level, I had like always this confusion about the tenses, like what I have to speak, how to use the tenses. I did not know anything. So I always wanted to start from the scratch, like from the basic. Because you know how a kid learn when he started going school, he learn it from the school, from the books, from the reading, questioning, answering. This is how a kid learn the language. Similarly, I start downloading few books like from NCERT books of first class, second class, English book, geography book, science book. Why these are the different books I need to download? Because I will get different kind of content in each book, right? In English you will get something different. In science book you will get some different kind of vocabulary, because the language is absolutely different, the content is absolutely different. So you should always explore about different kind of books, but start from the initial stage. Start from the first class book, second class book, third class book only. I had this habit actually when I was on my basic level. I always download few NCERT books and keep it like save in my PDF, and whenever I got time, I used to open those books and read a few pages, and this is how I've learned sentences. Because in first or second class NCERT books you will find very small and simple English which you will be able to understand, because sentence by sentence there. I don't know about today's book, but when that time when I was reading, it was quite comfortable, and I learned a lot of things from those books as well. This was the second thing which I did in order to improve my English, in order to reach on the intermediate level, right? And trust me guys, this actually helps me, and I'm sharing my personal experiences here with you. I am not talking about the content or material which is available on YouTube or on Google. I'm sharing my personal thing, and I personally feel it that yes, these things helped me somewhere, and that is why I'm able to speak now. I know I'm not perfect. It's a kind of journey. We always learn something new every time, and I'm still on my journey, and I will surely learn this language perfectly very soon. I know that if I'll keep practicing like this. The third thing is that once you will be done with the reading, not done, you have to continue. You have to increase the level of your books. Like if you will start from the first standard books, you should, once you will be able to understand those sentences, those small chapters, then you can move on to the next book, second class book, then third class, then fourth, and then fifth. This is how you can improve the level. And the things which I'm telling you only applicable for the serious learners. This is not for the learners who are just passing their time by saying like I want to learn English, but they're not doing actually any efforts. Efforts are always required for learning anything. It's not only about English. If you want to learn anything, if you want to do anything in your life, always seriousness is required, dedication and passion is required. So this video is only for those people who are actually who really want to improve their English, and they really want to work upon on achieving their goal, right? The third thing which I did in order to improve my English from basic to intermediate was I used to solve a few grammar exercise before sleeping. This was my habit when I was on the basic level, because I was always confused about the sentences. I did not know where to use does, where to use do, where to use has, where to use have. So I always, take one exercise at a time for the particular thing. For example, if I'm reading article, article a, an and the. So where to use them? Just put in the Google like grammar exercise on article. You will get so many grammar exercise based on articles. Just try to fill them by your own. Obviously it's a multiple choice questions, and start solving those exercise, and after you finish them, just check it and you will get to know the level of your English, that on which level you are. You know what happened with me after doing these kinds of exercise? Sometimes I got motivated, sometimes I got demotivated, because sometimes when I solve like 30 out of 50 correct, I feel so good. At least I know 30 means I frame correct sentences, and sometimes like 10 out of 50, so I feel demotivated also. Okay, like, yeah, what is happening? I'm learning it from 4 months, I'm still on this level. So this is the kind of things which always happen to you. You always have to encourage to yourself. You have to be motivated every time. You cannot be demotivated while learning. If you will demotivated, something like you may not be able to achieve something. So always motivate yourself by appraising yourself, right? So grammar exercise plays an important role in my learning, because once when I did not know anything about grammar, I used to solve these kinds of exercise, and you will get an idea about the how to frame a sentence and what should be the correct what should be the correct way of framing a sentence. These exercises are actually helpful, which actually help me. So third thing is this: generally the people who understand English, I suggest them to start from listening only, because listening is the first step. But if you are on the basic level, before reaching on listening level, you have to complete all three steps. You have to read books, you have to solve grammar exercises, and you have to prepare your self introduction and talk about small things, right? Fourth point is listening. Now you can start listening the content available on YouTube or on other social media platforms. For example, I've started from story watching. Story watching is really good for you. If you can if you are on the basic level, you should start with the basic stories. I will link a few channels in the description box. You can go with those channel, and they are really helpful. And this is how I have learned this language. And also my 4-year-old kid learned this language by watching only these channels. He learned 70% of this language just by watching stories and TV. And 30% is like talking, because I used to talk with him when he was like 2 years old and 2.5 years old. I used to talk with him in English, and this is how he has learned, right? So you can start from listening, but listening is not like you start listening very hi-fi content, very professional content. Just learn or listen simple basic English. Like, I am speaking very basic English. If you are on the basic level, you can understand it, because I am not even using a single word which has a typical meaning and which you need to think about the meaning of it. I am speaking very basic English. I am explaining everything in the very basic language so that you can understand. These kinds of channel you have to watch. I am not promoting my channel here. I am just telling you to watch simple basic English content available on YouTube, because there are different kind of content available. So you have to choose, you have to take this wise decision, like which channel you have to watch and which you have to avoid, right? My suggestion is you to start like kids story channel. They are best for learning. There are so many channels available on YouTube. Also you can do some listening practice. There is one channel which I have recently gone through. It is totally for listening, that's not very easy, but a little hard. So maybe for intermediate people, I will mention the link of that channel also in my description. You can go through that. That is like the channel always like take a topic and start speaking on that topic. So two purpose will be solved at a time. One, your vocabulary will be improved. The person is talking on different topic in each video, so you will learn different vocabulary as well as your listening practice done at the same time. By this stage, you will be able to understand what other person is speaking. See, while we communicate, we hardly use any harsh or tough language. Generally, when we read something, when we write something, draft something, we used heavy words or difficult words which are not really easy to understand. But when we are communicating, when we are talking to somebody, we generally use the very basic things which we can understand, right? So by the time you will reach on fourth point, listening, you will be able to understand speaking also, that what other person is talking to you. In that time, I will suggest you to start self-talking, just to boost your confidence and just to make yourself comfortable within an environment. First, you can do like self-talking is like if you're sitting, you just talk about your room, you just talk about the surroundings, you just talk about what is happening around you. This is how you can improve the level of your communication. if you will do all those 5 steps, I'm promising you that you can learn this language very soon. But you have to be a little dedicated, little passionate about this. If you are taking it casually that you have to learn it, you have to do something, but you're not actually putting any extra effort for that, you won't be able to learn this language. I'm sorry if I'm speaking too fast. I have always tried to speak slowly, but I couldn't because of my, it's something natural actually. Even if I speak in Hindi, I speak like this. I don't know how to get rid of this problem. If you have any suggestion, just please let me know in the comment section. And this is also important that in starting, if you are learning this language, you should not focus on your fluency. You should focus on your speaking. Like whatever you are speaking, that should be, try to be correct on that part, right? Fluency will be there once you will be confident on that particular thing. Once you have that confidence that yes, you can speak, you will be able to speak fluently as well. Make mistakes. Do not afraid of making mistakes. Many people have this shyness. Many people like feel like that what the other person will think if I will do any mistakes. Do not afraid of that, because you know, in today's world, everybody knows that obviously it's a language and they understand. Nobody is mocking you for that unless you are studying. See, when this mocking happen, when every person is speaking around us in English and only we are speaking Hindi. But in India, the place where we are living, maximum people does not know like English. They know their mother tongue very well. So there is no shame actually, right? There is no shame. It's a mother tongue. If we are speaking in our mother tongue, that should be proudy thing. We should proud of it. We speak very well. We speak our mother tongue very well, really well. So we should not feel a shame on that. And similarly, nobody is gonna mock you if you are making any mistakes. So just make mistakes. These are the part of your English learning journey, thinking, right? So do it, and I will continue the second part of this video in my next upcoming video. I'll suggest you 5 more points to you. Once you will finish it, just wait for the next video. And yes, one more thing I would like to say, if you like my video, if you really think that these points will be going to help you, then please like the video, subscribe my channel and share my channel or my videos to your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you. Bye-bye.